That's how the rich are staying rich. I will show you exactly how you can do it with the same surefire strategy. There are thousands of videos on YouTube right now on how to get rich. And I probably watch most of them. But if you're like me, you're not only looking for something easy, but something effective. But the majority of those videos are about starting a business, acquiring a business, side hustles, crypto, buy this stock, become an influencer, or invest in real estate. The problem, I know for me, is I want to work less, not more. And I don't want to do stuff that's too difficult to understand. So the advice, while it could work, and it's probably effective that you're seeing, it's just not connecting with people like you and I. So as someone that reads a lot of finance books, there is one strategy that always works. Every wealthy person does it, and it keeps you rich when you learn it. The problem with it? It's a sure thing, but it's easy and boring. And people don't click on easy and boring. And people certainly don't want to read a book about easy and boring. We've heard the stories about how rich pay less taxes. Well, if you stick around to the end, I will show you exactly how you can do it with the same surefire strategy. It's called compound interest. When you earn $1, you have 3 choices with that money. Spend it, save it, or invest it. Spend it. I'm sure all of you could write a book on how to blow it. I made a video a couple weeks ago on all the dumb shit I've done with money. Save it. Well, save it ensures it's there to spend on another day if needed. You should always have money in savings, specifically on things like an emergency fund. The third choice you have is invest it. And when you invest it, you give that dollar a job. If enough of your dollars goes out and gets a job, the more money you make and the less you personally need to earn. And that's where compound interest comes in. In fact, I can tell you firsthand, there are days when the stock market does well that I earn more in the stock market than I do in my high-paying 9-to-5 job. So if you're enjoying the content so far, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It's truly the greatest way to show support to help this new channel, well, grow. And if you're afraid of the commitment, just leave an emoji in the comments because it also helps get the channel jump-started. I'll emoji your ass right back. So let's talk about how compound interest actually works with 2 different scenarios. Imagine you are the only person with 2, not just 1, but 2 $5,000 bills. And you want to give these a job, but they go down different adventures. Scenario 1, we'll call this simple interest. This is what your checking account is giving you right now. I'm going to use my calculator on what I'm currently earning, which is 0.015 interest. So let's take the first $5,000 bill, and you decide to let that thing chill in a checking account. And that offers a simple interest rate of 0.015. That $5,000 in 1 year comes to 75 cents. Year 2, it also pays off the principal, giving you another, you guessed it, 75 cents. So now in 2 years, you've earned $1.50. Well done. Not exactly exciting or gonna get you rich. Now let's talk about scenario 2. So that second $5,000 bill, you're gonna be a bit more ambitious because you're feeling confident after watching this video. So you decide to invest it into something easy like an index fund, which I'll explain that a little bit later and on another video. You're gonna earn an impressive 8% return. You ready? Hold on to your hat. So in the first year, it earns $400. So 8% of $5,000, and if you're never sure, use ChatGPT, compound interest calculators just to get an idea. I do that all the time. You're gonna earn $400. Now that's a hell of a lot better than the 75 cents I just said. Here's where the adventure gets even more fun. So in that first year, your $5,000 now becomes $5,400. Year 2, they're going to pay you interest on that $5,400, not the $5,000. That's another $432. So you actually earned more year interest in year 2 than you did year 1. So every year they pay you interest, the next year they pay you interest on that interest, giving you the compound effect. So fast forward 20 years, it's now at a jaw-dropping over $21,000. Now that's the magic of compound interest. Now imagine just continuing. That's not investing anything else. That's just compound. But imagine what that does if each year you're putting in $5,000. You bought in? Cool. But literally every wealthy person does this. There's a lot of different ways that you can earn compound interest. I'm just going to share my two favorite right now because they're super easy and super effective. And I'm lazy. High yield savings accounts are exploding. Currently, 4% is pretty typical. One of the great things about it is you can access that money pretty much immediately with no penalty with a high yield savings account. My second favorite choice right now is something called an index fund. Now, an index funds are investing in a large range of stocks. In fact, the ones that I put in invest in every stock in the US stock market. So as stocks go up, it buys more of those. As stocks go down, they auto invest it something more lucrative for you. The best point about all of it, it has a low cost to operate. So you're not paying a lot of commission. Right now, the average projection of a return on an index fund is about 8 to 10%. A simple way I like to view it is imagine at 8% to 10%, your money doubles every 6 years. Again, not an exact science, but that's a rule of thumb that I use. So if you put $10,000 in 6 years with compound interest, that should grow to 20. However, with all of it, it'd be wise to not pull that money for a very long time. And I'll explain it in a moment. Now that we talked about compound interest, how it works, let's also talk about a few things that you need to take seriously. Number one, be patient. Imagine growing a garden. You don't see the flowers bloom instantly because it takes time. Similarly, with index funds and compound interest and high yield savings, it takes time. Just let it do its thing. Consistency is the key. Think of it like you're doing homework or cleaning a house. Doing a little bit every day goes a long way instead of just planning a day where you try to get all that shit done at once. Consistently putting money into index funds, even if it's a small amount regularly, it adds up over time. And you eventually don't even realize you're putting it in because it becomes habit. Pay yourself first. Treat your money like your best friend. Before spending it on other things, take a portion and invest it in things like an index fund or that high yield savings, or really any way that you want to earn compound interest. But do it first before going out there and spending it. Watch out for low fees. Fees are like a parasite. Some sting you more than others. So the lower the fee on each of them, the more you're going to give an opportunity to grow. I made a video, I'll post it above, about some of the biggest mistakes that I've had. Not paying attention to low fees was one of my top 5 biggest blunders. Remember, growing wealth, it's like growing a tree. It's going to start small, but with time, care, and consistency, it becomes something significantly more. You know how earlier I told you about tax benefits and how the rich stay rich? This is exactly how they do it. So tax on things like investments are taxed differently than your income. So if you have enough money in compound interest and things like IRAs and some of the other stuff I talked about, you're going to pay less taxes than those that are working a 9-to-5 job. That is how the rich stay rich. They live off of long-term gains instead of income. So with all that said, I got one more thing for you. Go out there and get rich. Oh, and stay rich. Thank you.